KA Bullets YouTube channel.
Hurry up, now tell us why you're here.
This rookie is Greg Beeple, and this other rookie is Jamie McCarry, and his new teammate, Casey Gears, who is also a rookie this season. And here's another rookie, Joel McQueen. Joel McQueen will replace Mark Rhodesley in the number 57 Corrosive Seal car. Quint Joltson, Lee Pitstop Jr., Aikens, Suregrip, and Masterson will all be rookies and backup racers this season. Casey Cartwood has a new look. This is his new look. Jimmy Speedcar also has a new look in the number 7. And Ken Schrader has a new look in the number 49. Hopefully he stops wrecking Eugene Karbareski. Matt Karzith also has a new look. It's barely changed. And Ryan Newcar also has a new look. Joe Brakecheck will move to the 25 because Jerry Nadrive is now the number 01. Hopefully Sammy Smelter doesn't fart on him. Kenny Wheelhouse also has a new look with the number 23. And Elliot Draftler is now the number 38. And Ricky Slood is now the number 21. Now, onto the teams. Pancake Shift Right Racing and Rush Racing are all 5-car teams. How? Blaster Charger Racing, Alloy Wilson Racing, Speedson Racing, and the Pit Stops Revolting crew are the same as last season, but Chevrolet Motorsports has Joe Brakecheck replacing Jerry Nadrive. Landon Leakspill has finally been kicked out of the anti-Chick Hicks team in favor of Masterson. Reverham Motorsports brings Casey Cartwood back to the team for some reason. DEI, Eli Motors Racing, and Joe Gears Racing are all the same as last season, but Chip Carnassi Racing has 2 rookies, Jimmy Speedcar and Joe Brakecheck left, and Sterling Carlin is still there. ECS2 Motorsports adds Jerry Nadrive to the team, but Richard Chillpaints Racing is the same. The Crazy 8s team adds Elliot Draftler with Ricky Slood leaving, but Wood Brothers Racing has Ricky Slood joining and Elliot Draftler leaving. And this was a swap deal, with Ricky Slood and Elliot Draftler effectively trading teams. The king is still on Dynaco Motorsports, and Ruby Easy Oaks will start at pole position for the Florida 500, where Chuck Hicks is 4th as of lap 5, where Ruby Easy Oaks, the leader and pole sitter, and Jerkson DeAugustino are out! But then, Michael Karchip will take the lead all the way to lap 34, where he'd lose the lead to his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr., who would lead to lap 40, where Tony Gasworth would take the lead from him. But on lap 42, Todd Marcus is 10th as of that lap, where he wrecks Bobby Carboni. Why? And now he's out! Dale Earnhardt Jr. would take the lead until lap 58, where Chuck Hicks is 16th as of lap 58, where he wrecks Ward Burnton, Ken Schrader, Chuck Armstrong, and most importantly, Ryan Newcar, who goes airborne and flips because of Chick Hicks, who will be suspended for the next 12 races because of what he did. Michael Karchip will once again take the lead, but this time all the way to lap 95, where Kajimo Mikino and Jimmy Speedcar are out because they bumped into each other. Matt Karzith will take the lead for 10 laps before he loses the lead to Tony Gasworth. And he'd lead until lap 127, where Rusty Wheelhouse would take the lead from him. On lap 143, Ernie Gearson is out because of an engine failure. But Dale Carrett will take the lead for 3 laps before Mark Burnsley surprisingly takes the lead until lap 155, where Michael Karchip would take the lead from him, where he'd lead 99 laps! How does any car lead for 99 laps? Because Todd Marcus is 15th as of lap 254, where he wrecks Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kevin Shiftright, Terry Cabani, Bill Reeslot, Slide Park, Jerry Nadrive, the rookie Jamie McCarry, and now Todd Marcus will be suspended for 12 races because of what he did. And Kurt Busch would take the lead for 8 laps after the restart, but then the King would take the lead from him. And surprisingly, Ricky Carvin would take the lead from the King, leading until lap 283, where Kurt Busch would once again take the lead until lap 304, where Ricky Slud would take the lead from him, leading for just 4 laps before Michael Cartrip would take the lead all the way until lap 356, where Elliot Draftler would take the lead from him, leading for just 4 laps before Michael Cartrip takes the lead again until lap 402, where Eugene Karbareski would lead for 6 laps, but on lap 408, Misty Motocross is 3rd on that lap, but then she bumps Eugene Karbareski into the wall, and now he's out, but Claude Scruggs had something to say about Misty Motocross wrecking Eugene Karbareski. Michael Cartrip will once again take the lead until lap 443, where the King would take the lead from him, leading until lap 481. But Michael Cartrip would lead the last 19 laps to win the 2003 Florida 500. And here is the top 20 of the 2003 Florida 500.
Remember to press the notifications button, which goes ring, ring, ring after you press it. And lightning strikes back, and that's as if you subscribed, of course. And thank you for watching this entire video.
Happy 2021, everyone. And besides, the 2003 Piston Cup races 2-35 Part 1 will be out soon enough.
KA Bullets YouTube channel.
Hurry up, now tell us why you're here.
Bobby Carboni will start at pole position for the second race, where Murray Clutchburn would lead the most laps with 162. But Matt Karzith would still win the second race of 2003. And Bobby Carboni would get the pole again for the third race, where Ryan Newcar is first as of the last lap. But Kyle Traxon wrecks him! Why? But he'll be out because of Kurt Busch Hooray! But Dale Carrett will win the third race, but who will be the pole sitter for the fourth race? Ryan Newcar will, and he'll sit on the pole for the fourth race. But then Kenny Shiftright would get flipped on lap 368, and Jeff Gorvette would almost win the fourth race, but in the end, Bobby Carboni would win the fourth race of 2003. Elliot Draftler would start at pole position for the fifth race, but Jerry Nadrive is out on lap 7 because of Mark Burnsley. Why? And Dale Earnhardt Jr. would lead the most laps with 91, but Jeff Gorvette would be down 1 lap on lap 314 because of a flat tire. And Kurt Busch is first on the last lap, but he would only lose by 3 inches to Ricky Carvin, who wins the fifth race of 2003. And here is the finish. This is the closest finish in Piston Cup history so far. But Murray Clutchburn would start at the pole for the sixth race, where Rusty Wheelhouse would lead the most laps with 142. And Chuck Armstrong would still go on to win the sixth race. And the King starts at the pole for the seventh race, where Johnny Blamer goes into the catch fence because of Ryan Thunderbolt Jr. Why? And Brush Kerber would only lose by 1 foot to the King. And the King wins the 7th race of 2003. The King has this to say to Brush Kerber. And Brush Kerber starts on the pole for the 8th race, where Ken Schrader is out because of Eugene Carbureski. Why? You're not even the same number anymore. Why? And Mike Yankee would be in the lead on lap 336, where he's now out. But the winner of the 8th race is Darren Leadfoot, somehow. And Jeff Gorvette will start at pole position for the 9th race, where Rusty Cornfuel is out for 8 races because of Eugene Kobareski. Why? And now he's out because of Ken Schrader. Just why are you wrecking him? You're not the same number anymore. And Jeff Gorvette wins the 9th race of 2003. And Bill Racelot would be the pole sitter for the 10th race, where Ryan Newcar would get flipped because of Masterson. Why are you like Todd Marcus? And Ken Schrader is out because of Eugene Kobareski. Well, of course this happens. And Matt Karzith almost wins the 10th race, but in the end, Eugene Kobareski would beat him to the line and win the 10th race. Some sad news before the 11th race starts. Jerry Nadrive has a career-ending crash in practice for the 11th race of 2003. But Joe Brakecheck will replace him in the number 01. Watch out for Sammy Smelter. Ryan Newcar would be the pole sitter for the 11th race, but Kyle Traxon would wreck 22 cars, and he would be suspended for the rest of the season because of what he did. Oh, and he's out for 10 races because of Manny Flywheel. Hooray! But Kurt Busch-Tire would be the winner of the 11th race. Kurt Busch-Tire seems to do really well at Bristol. A car that doesn't do so well at Bristol is Krusty Rotor, and he's the pole sitter for the 12th race, where he gets jumped over by Billy Ford. How? But the winner of the 12th race is the King, who of course wins the 12th race, because who else would? And Slide Park has been fired by DEI, and he'll join Richard Chilpaint's Racing in the number 30. Chuck Armstrong would start at pole position for the 13th race, where Chuck Hicks wrecks 16 cars. And Mark Carton would almost win the 13th race, but in the end, last year's champion, Tony Gasworth, would win the 13th race. And Jeremy Carfield surprisingly starts at the pole for the 14th race, where Ryan Newcar goes into the catch fence, and Ricky Carvin would go airborne and isn't out because of Chick Hicks! Oh, but he's out because of Kevin Carvick, who only loses by 6 feet to Dale Earnhardt Jr., who wins his 4th Talladega race in a row. And Kenny Shiftwright would start at pole position for the 15th race, where Ryan Newcar would flip on the first lap. And Kenny Shiftwright would lead over half of the laps, including pole, but now he's out because of Chick Hicks. Why? And Johnny Blamer is now out because of Todd Marcus. Why are you wrecking other cars? But luckily, Todd Marcus is out because of Manny Flywheel. Hooray! And Will Draft Rev somehow leads a lap. I don't know. And Kurt Busch-Tire would win the 15th race of 2003. And Tony Gasworth would start at the pole for the 16th race, where Kevin Shiftwright and Jeff Burnton bump into each other while jumping. on the track, and James Cleaner would be out for 9 races because of Chuck Hicks, who will be suspended for 9 races. Ryan Newcar would almost win the 16th race, but in the end, Murray Cotchburn would win the 16th race, and the King would start at pole position for the 17th race, where Eugene Carbureski is out because of Ken Schrader. Well, of course this happens, and Matt Karzith only loses by 4 feet to Paunchy Wipeout, who surprisingly wins the 17th race. And here is what Paunchy Wipeout had to say about winning his first race. And Slide Park surprisingly starts at the pole for the 18th race, where his former teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. would lead for half the laps, but on the last 21 laps, Greg Beeple would take the lead and win the 18th race of the 2003 Piston Cup season. Hollingus is back! Hooray! But Kevin Harvick would start at the pole for the 19th race, and he wins! Wait, did nothing really happen? Tony Gasworth had something to say about how boring the 2003 Brickyard 400 was. And even the King said the race was boring. You know the race was bad if the King is saying it's boring. Hopefully this race, the 20th race of the 2003 Piston Cup season, will be better. Bill Gears starts at the pole, and Jeremy Carfield would go airborne and into the catch fence on lap 349 because of Slayer Petrolski. Why? At least this race was more interesting. And Ryan Newcar would be the winner of the 20th race. And he has this to say about Jeremy Carfield going into the catch fence. And Matt Karzith will start at pole position for the 21st race, where Kevin Shiftwright would lead the most laps with 65. But Elliot Draftler would get flipped on lap 336 because of Mark Burnsley. Why? And Jeff Gorvette would only lose by 10 feet to Misty Motocross, who wins the 21st race of 2003. And Claude Scruggs has something to say as usual. Elliot Draftler would be back to start the pole for the 22nd race, where Davey Apex is out for 3 races, and Ken Schrader is out because of Eugene Carbureski. Why did you wreck both of them for? Billy Oilchanger is in the lead with 2 to go, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. would almost win the 22nd race, but in the end, his teammate Michael Cartrip will win the 22nd race, and the King will start at the pole for the 23rd race, where Eugene Carbureski is out because of Ken Schrader. Well, of course this happens, and Hollingus leads the most laps with 147, but Murray Cotchburn would lose by half of the track to Ryan Newcar, who wins the 23rd race, and Todd Marcus would surprisingly get the pole for the 24th race, where he's out on the 2nd lap because of Rusty Wheelhouse. Hooray! And Sammy Smeltzer is too stinky for his own good, and now he's out for the season. And Dale Cart, who does take a car wash, somehow avoids Sammy Smelter's stench. Johnny Blamer is out with 3 to go because of Kurt Busch tire. Why? But Murray Cotchburn says this to Kurt Busch tire, and Murray Cotchburn is 11th with 3 to go. But what happens, you ask? He wins the 24th race! How? Somehow, Darren Leadfoot would start at pole position for the 25th race, where Kurt Busch tire and Ken Schrader are out on lap 107 because of Eugene Karbareski. Why? And the King would only lose by 7 feet to Ryan Newcar, who wins the 25th race. And he'll be the pole sitter for the 26th race as well. But Chick Hicks doesn't wreck any other cars. Good job. And Ryan Newcar wins the 26th race. But the thing is, look at this. You can tell nothing happened. Barely anything happened in the 26th race of 2003. If the most interesting thing is Aiken Axler going from 9th to 7th. And 42 cars finished on the lead lap. And I'm sorry that I had to end the video with the most boring race in Piston Cup history. Oh, and here is the top 20 as of the 26th race of 2003.
Remember to press the notifications button, which goes ring, ring, ring after you press it. And lightning strikes back, and that's as if you subscribed, of course. And thank you for watching this entire video.
The 2003 Fay 400 is the most boring race in Piston Cup history. But hopefully, the rest of the season will be better. The 2003 Piston Cup races, 27 to 35, will be out soon enough. And after that, the 2003 Dynaco 400.
KA Bullets YouTube channel.
Hurry up, now tell us why you're here.
Ryan Newcar will start at pole position for the 27th race, but Ricky Slood and Kevin Karvik are rivals. I don't know why, but when Ricky Slood goes airborne on lap 74 because of Chick Hicks! Why? Kevin Karvik says this. And the King has to make Kevin Karvik aware that Chick Hicks is the bad guy. And Kevin Karvik says this. But the winner of the 27th race is Terry Kabani, who wins his first race in 5 years. Chick Hicks will start at the pole for the 28th race, where he's out on the 6th lap because of Rusty Wheelhouse. Hooray! And Rusty Wheelhouse had this to say. Why couldn't anyone else do it? And Murray Clutchburn would almost win the 28th race, and Jeremy Carfield would only lose by 12 feet to Ryan Newcar, who wins the 28th race. Here is the finish of the 28th race of 2003. Ryan Newcar will start at the pole for the 29th race, where Chick Hicks wrecks 12 cars, and the King would lead the most laps with 168. But Ryan Newcar would be first as of the last lap. But now he's out because of Chick Hicks somehow wins the 29th race. And Jeff Corvette will start at the pole for the 30th race, where he leads 333 laps, the most out of any car, and he gets T-boned by Chick Hicks! Why? And Ryan Newcar will win the 30th race of 2003. Matt Karseth will start at the pole for the 31st race, where Eugene Karbareski is out because of Ken Schrader. Well, of course this happens. And the King would lead the most laps with 132. But Chick Hicks wrecks 14 cars. And since Misty Motocross was one of them, Claude Scruggs had something to say. The mean green car, Chick Hicks, almost wins the 31st race, but luckily, Hollingus wins the 31st race of 2003. Claude Scruggs will start at pole position for the 32nd race, where Chuck Hicks is out on lap 81 because of Claude Scruggs. Why? And Ken Schrader is out because of Eugene Karbareski. Well, of course this happens, and Claude Scruggs would lead the most laps with 294. It's actually quite good, and he only loses by 4 feet while missing his 2 right tires, only to lose to Jeff Gorvette, who wins the 32nd race. Claude Scruggs is very upset that he lost, but Misty Motocross actually doesn't mind. And the King will start at the pole for the 33rd race, where Chuck Hicks wrecks 19 cars, and the King would only lose by 8 feet to Jeff Gorvette, who wins 2 in a row with the 32nd and 33rd races of 2003. Tony Gaswood would start at the pole for the 34th race, where Murray Clutchburn would go airborne because of Chuck Hicks. Why? And Slider Petrowski is out for the season because of Todd Marcus, who will be suspended for the rest of the season. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. would win the 34th race. Ryan Newcar will start at pole position for the 35th race, where Chuck Hicks wrecks 14 cars, and the King would lead the most laps with 257. And Hollingus would almost win the 35th race, but Bill Racelot would be the winner of the 35th race of 2003. Matt Karzith is well out on top, beating the King and Dale Jr. by almost 200 points. But if Matt Karzith finishes dead last, maybe the other two have a chance. And these 7 cars were close, but not close enough. Murray Clutchburn had a good season this year, and Ryan Newcar won 6 races, and he could not compete for the Piston Cup anymore due to his inconsistency.
Remember to press the notifications button, which goes ring, ring, ring after you press it. And lightning strikes back, and that's as if you subscribed, of course. And thank you for watching this entire video.
Stay tuned for the 2003 Dynaco 400, which will have one of 2 things happen. It's either Matt Karzith will drive away with the Piston Cup with 1 or 2 wins, or he finishes dead last with the King or Dale Jr. winning the 2003 Piston Cup. Stay tuned for the 2003 Dynaco 400, which will be out within the next week.
KA Bullets YouTube channel.
Hurry up, now tell us why you're here.
Slide Park will sadly be retiring at the end of the season, and Bill Racelot will be moving to a part-time schedule next season. Oh, same with Clint Speed, but sadly, Clint Speed couldn't qualify for the Dynaco 400. Brian Vickers is a new racer who will be a rookie in 2004. He made a couple starts earlier in the year, but didn't really do anything that important. The car that starts on the pole is Darren Leadfoot, who leads for the first 20 laps before Chuck Hicks is 14th as of lap 20, where Ruby Easy Oaks and Bill Gears are out because of the mean green car. The King will take the lead all the way until lap 68, where Hollingus would take the lead from him. He would only lead to lap 74 before Chuck Hicks is 6th as of lap 74, where Hollingus will go airborne, and Ricky Sludd and Joe Brakecheck are also out. Murray Clutchburn would take the lead after the restart and lead to lap 102, where Dale Earnhardt Jr. would take the lead for 3 laps afterwards. But then Ken Schrader is 21st as of lap 103, where Eugene Carbareski is of course out because of Ken Schrader. The King will once again take the lead all the way until lap 151, where Krusty Roeder would take the lead from him and lead until lap 169, where he's out because of an engine failure. And Jeff Gorvette would take the lead from him and lead to lap 185, where he'd lose the lead to Kevin Shiftwright, who would only lead for 3 laps until lap 188, where Kurt Buschtire would take the lead from him. He'd lead to lap 207, where Tony Gasworth would take the lead from him, leading until lap 213, where Rusty Wheelhouse would take the lead from him, leading all the way until lap 257, where Bobby Carboni would lead all the way to lap 298. But then Jeff Burnton would jump over him and lead to lap 307, where Kevin Carvick would pass him and then take the lead until lap 315, where Ernie Gearson would take the lead until lap 334, when Chuck Hicks is 7th, and he wrecks Ernie Gearson, Ryan Newcar, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mark Carton, Billy Oilchanger, Ward Burnton, and Greg Beeple. But then Bobby Carboni would take the lead for 40 laps before Murray Clutchburn would take the lead from him, leading until lap 389. But then the King would take the lead from him, leading until lap 394. But Ricky Slood hits the wall really hard, which means now he's out. But then Bobby Carboni would take the lead for the last 5 laps of the race and win the 2003 Dynaco 400. But Matt Karseth wins the 2003 Piston Cup. How does Matt Karseth win the 2003 Piston Cup despite the fact he won 1 race? What's even crazier is that Matt Karseth had no DNFs and finished outside of the top 10 a total of 8 times this season. And Kevin Carvick finishes 5th, despite the fact he finished 21st last season. And Murray Clutchburn gets 2 wins this season, despite the fact he finished 22nd last season. The car that finished 22nd this season is Mark Burnsley, who had a good season, despite the fact he got no wins. Kurt Buschtire beat Kevin Shiftwright by 12 points to finish in the top 10 this season, and Bill Rayslott will finish 12th for his last full-time season. Billy Oilchanger had a bad season, finishing 26th, but he can try again next year. Mark Carton had a really bad season this season, finishing 17th. Oh, I forgot. Chick Hicks finishes 21st this season because of all of those suspensions. Terry Carboni has a good season, finishing in the top 20 once again in 16th. The car that finished 15th is Michael Cartrip, who is the number 15. Dale Carrett had a really bad season, finishing 23rd, only 1 position ahead of his teammate, Elliot Draftler. Ruby Easy Oaks and Misty Motocross had good seasons this season because they didn't DNF as much, and Misty Motocross even got a win. And Claude Scruggs was really happy about that. Well, of course he is! Greg Beeple finishes 32nd, and Ricky Carvin finishes 31st, with their 1 win. Darren Leadfoot and Paunchy Wipeout got a win this season, and they're not in the top 40! Chuck Armstrong's 20th for some reason. Krusty Roeder's 37th for some reason, but Eugene Carbareski and Ken Schrader had worse than average seasons, finishing 33rd and 34th. Slide Park and Joe Brakecheck, the 2 cars that had multiple numbers this season, finish 35th and 36th. Hollingus comes back in the second half of the season to finish 38th in the points. And Dave Laney had a good season this season.
Remember to press the notifications button, which goes ring, ring, ring after you press it. And lightning strikes back, and that's as if you subscribed, of course. And thank you for watching this entire video.
Soon, I will be making a video on how Matt Karzith won the 2003 Piston Cup, and the 2004 Florida 500 will be coming out soon enough.